Have you ever noticed that when the rest of the world is winding down, you start to feel more alive? It is midnight. The streets are quiet. Nobody is sending you messages. The pressure of the day is gone. Your mind feels clearer than it did at noon. You tell yourself you will sleep soon. Then one thought leads to another. You start cleaning your room, working on a project, reading articles, thinking about life, or just staring out the window, feeling peaceful. Meanwhile, everyone else keeps telling you the thing. You are ruining your sleep schedule. You need to wake up. Successful people are morning people. After hearing it enough times, you might start wondering if something is wrong with you. Why do some people feel awake, creative, focused, and comfortable at night? The answer is really interesting, because preferring the night is not always about habits. In cases, it is connected to your personality, biology, creativity, emotional processing, and even the way your brain works. Let us explore why. Imagine two people standing in the city. One wakes up at 5 feeling energized by the sunrise. The quiet morning air feels motivating. They like routines, structure, and getting ahead before everyone else wakes up. The other person struggles to get moving in the morning. Their brain feels foggy. Their thoughts arrive slowly. Around 9 p.m., something changes. Ideas start flowing. Energy appears from nowhere. They become more productive than they have been all day. Most people assume the second person simply lacks discipline. Psychology suggests something different. Human beings do not all operate on the internal clock. Researchers call these patterns chronotypes. Some people are naturally birds while others are natural night owls. It is not preference. It is partly biological. Your body runs on a timing system that regulates sleep, alertness, hormone release, mood, and energy. For some people, that rhythm naturally shifts later into the day. It is like being handed an operating system. Imagine criticizing a cat for not being energetic at 7 a.m. while praising a dog for waking up. Neither animal is broken. They are simply designed differently. Humans are often the way. Biology is only part of the story. What is especially interesting is that people who love the night often describe something than energy. They describe freedom. Think about what daytime represents. Notifications, deadlines and expectations, traffic, meetings, conversations, responsibilities. The daytime world constantly demands your attention. It is as if your brain is standing in the middle of a room while everyone keeps tapping you on the shoulder. Night changes the environment completely. The taps stop. The noise fades. The room empties. Suddenly, your attention belongs to you again. Psychologists sometimes refer to this as a reduction in stimulation. When external demands decrease, internal thoughts become easier to hear. This is one reason many night-oriented people report feeling more creative after dark. It is not necessarily because the night magically creates creativity. It is because creativity finally has space to breathe. Imagine trying to hear a whisper during a rock concert. Now imagine hearing that whisper in a quiet library. The whisper did not get louder. The environment got quieter. For people, their ideas work exactly like that. There is another fascinating layer. Research has found links between eveningness, being active later in the day, and certain forms of thinking, the kind of thinking associated with creativity and generating unusual ideas. Why? One theory suggests that when we are outside our peak state of conventional focus, the brain becomes more willing to make unusual connections. Of traveling down familiar mental roads, it starts exploring side streets. This may explain why many writers, artists, musicians, philosophers, and inventors throughout history developed late-night working habits. The darkness creates an atmosphere where imagination feels safer. There is pressure to perform, less pressure to be practical, less pressure to conform. Sometimes that is exactly what creativity needs. Night lovers are not always creative in the artistic sense. Many are reflective, deeply reflective. Have you ever noticed how certain thoughts only seem to appear at night? Questions about your future, memories from years ago, conversations you wish had gone differently, dreams you have never told anyone. During the day, your attention is scattered across dozens of tasks. At night, attention turns inward. It is like the brain finally opens a door that has been closed all day. This is why night often feels emotionally significant. For some people, nighttime becomes a meeting between themselves and their own mind. Here is where things become surprisingly philosophical. The night removes witnesses. Nobody is expecting anything from you. Nobody is watching. Nobody is grading your performance. For a precious hours, you exist outside the social spotlight. That feeling can be incredibly comforting, especially for people who spend much of their lives adapting to others. Sensitive individuals, introverts, deep thinkers, and people who constantly monitor social expectations often describe nighttime as their psychological refuge. Not because they hate people, because they finally get a chance to hear themselves. Think of it like a lake. During the day, boats constantly cross the surface, creating waves and ripples. At night, the water becomes still. Only when the water becomes still can you clearly see the reflection beneath it. That is what nighttime often feels like psychologically. A still lake. A chance to see what is really happening inside. Of course, there is also a shadow side. Not every aspect of loving the night is positive. The same quiet that allows reflection can sometimes encourage rumination. There is a difference between thinking and overthinking. Thinking leads somewhere. Overthinking walks in circles. Because nighttime removes distractions, worries can sometimes become louder too. The brain that spends midnight generating ideas may spend 2 a.m. replaying embarrassing moments from 7 years ago. You know the ones. That awkward thing you said in school. That text message you regret. That random social interaction nobody else remembers. Yet somehow your brain decides it is worthy of a cinematic replay. Nighttime amplifies whatever is already inside you. If you are inspired, inspiration grows. If you are anxious, anxiety can grow too. The night is like a microphone. It does not create the song. It simply increases the volume. What is fascinating is that many people who prefer the night understand this instinctively. They often develop rituals, a favorite lamp, a specific playlist, a cup of tea, a notebook, a walk under streetlights. These rituals help transform nighttime from chaos into comfort. They create boundaries that tell the brain, this is my space. Perhaps that is one of the deepest reasons some people fall in love with the night. Control, not control over people. Control over attention, control over time, control over their mental world. During the day, life often feels like a series of reactions. Reply to this. Attend that. Finish this. Answer that. Night feels different. Night feels chosen. The hours belong to you. Ownership over your attention is one of the most psychologically satisfying experiences a person can have. In a way, many night owls are not actually running away from the day. They are running toward themselves, toward the version of themselves that feels calm, creative, reflective, authentic, the version that is not constantly interrupted, the version that finally has room to exist. So if you have always felt guilty for loving the night, maybe it is worth considering a perspective. Maybe your attraction to darkness is not a flaw. Maybe it is a clue about how your mind works, a clue about where your creativity lives, a clue about the environments where you feel most alive. Of course, healthy sleep still matters. Your body deserves rest regardless of your chronotype. The deeper lesson is not about forcing yourself to become someone else. It is about understanding yourself, because psychology is not about explaining behavior. It is about recognizing the hidden patterns that make you who you are. Perhaps that is what the night has been trying to tell you all along. That beneath the noise, beneath the schedules, beneath the expectations and distractions, there is a version of you waiting to be heard. Maybe that is why the stars only appear when the sky gets dark. Not because they were not there before, because darkness finally gives them a chance to be seen. So tell me, are you someone who comes alive after sunset? Do your best ideas arrive when the rest of the world is asleep? I would love to hear your experiences in the comments. If you enjoy exploring the hidden psychology behind everyday behaviors, make sure to subscribe and join us for the next journey into the fascinating world of the human mind. Until time, stay curious.